Hi, you guys, and thank you for watching my channel. Okay, so I had 3 videos planned out, but I need to redo them. Period. I started realizing I forgot a lot of shit in the midst of making those videos, so we're gonna redo those because I think I still have some of the old text messages, so I'm definitely gonna look for them. So today I'm gonna be talking to you guys about the time I got fired. Okay, the time I got fired. Y'all, I am a hard ass worker. So when I get fired, yes, when I get fired, because it does happen, I am in distraught, in pain, like hurt. Like, I really don't be giving a fuck. Okay. But, anyways, I worked for General Mills. Yes, I'm going to say the company's name because they want shit. Now, let me give you a little bit of backstory. At this time, I had just moved to Covington, Georgia, and I was living with my sister, and her homeboy put me on to a job. He was like, "Yeah, the check's right." He was like, "Yeah, the check's right. It's closed, whatever." Y'all, the checks was not fucking right. The checks was not sitting well. That job only paid enough for you to go and sell drugs on the side or prostitute or make a OnlyFans. Like that job, you needed a serious hustle on the side to make that job worth it. That job paid you enough to stay in your mama's basement for free. But anyways, that's where I worked. So I didn't really care because I stayed with my sister, so I wasn't really thinking about getting a job where I make enough money to contribute. I just wanted to get my foot in the door and like experience life in Georgia. Yeah, I was retarded. So, anyways, I started working at this goddamn job, and it is in Social Circle, and that's not too far from the house. But with people driving as slow as they were, it sometimes it will be like a 30-minute drive. Okay, and I think I'm trying to remember if I had a car, because honestly, I think my car died and I didn't have a car at that time. But we ain't gonna speak on my car because, well, let me tell you what happened to my car. So basically, I had this '05 yellow Chevy Cavalier. It was my baby. It was my favorite car in the world. I miss that. And the paint was peeling off of it. It had a few dents from a few mistakes. I had accidentally drove into the grocery store, but that was my baby. Like that car was tough. Okay, that car was tough. It made it with me through a lot. And all of a sudden, the car started sounding real ugly, making this grinding noise. It just sounded like it was going through a blender. And I was worried. Okay, I was worried because I could not afford that shit. I had got scammed into this job, was working for this company that didn't pay no money. So technically it wasn't even a real job. So I was broke. So I was so scared. I was like, my car cannot be out of commission because a bitch is broke. And I just kept ignoring it. And finally I went to my sister's husband and I was like, "Can you take a look at my car?" He was like, "Oh, it don't got no oil. That's the problem." So before we even get to put the oil in it, the bitch died. They said something about the transmission turning over. It had been dry for so long. It was rubbing. Did it. Need a new engine, something, whatever. Basically, my car was out of motherfucking commission. So my mom was driving me to work. I know, I'm so ashamed. But anyways, it was what it was. And so I was working there with my best friend at the time, who is a piece of shit, might I add, because I almost forgot his bum ass for the story. Crazy. But anyways, back to the story. So you guys know I didn't have no car. My mom was taking me and him because his ass ain't had no car either. Me and my best friend was roommates at the time. But yeah, so we're gonna name my best friend Asphalt. Let me write that down because I forget his ass is even in this story. Yeah, so Asphalt. And anyway, so I started working there, and y'all, when I tell you I was killing it at this job, I was killing it. I love warehouse jobs. I love industrial jobs, period. Like, regardless of what I'm doing, because it's free spirited. You just do what you got to do to keep your production up and do your fucking job. And they actually pay so much attention to you. It's easier to be promoted in those kind of jobs, or at least that's how I feel, because it's easy to see whose numbers is actually getting somewhere. So they would move me around quite a bit. And any team they put me on, like, bitch, we was hitting numbers. Like, I was killing it. And I used that job as my workout. I'm not gonna lie. So I was like over there hitting squats and shit while I'm doing it. I was right back then. But anyways, so they ended up moving me to this dude's line, and he was a white guy. He was my manager. What are we gonna call him? We're gonna call him Chicken. Chicken was the line lead, and he was my manager at the time. So, and I mean like Chicken from Cow and Chicken, because he was like super brainiac, super nerdy, super quirky, super dorky. Yeah. So I was on Chicken's line. It was me, Chicken, and Chicken's girl. Chicken's girlfriend did not like me because she felt like she was fucking him for a promotion, and she felt like I was gonna do the same. First of all, I don't want chicken. I don't want chicken. Like, I'm good, bitch. I'm gonna work for this promotion. You can go ahead and suck that. We're gonna like bleep that part out. But yeah, probably not. So yeah, I'm like, I don't want chicken. So me and her got into it a lot. Like, she used to do the fucking most, and she always wanted to work right beside me. So I remember we were doing a little assembly line stuff, and she was like knocking the shit over on purpose, like just doing horrible, because she was trying to move as fast as possible to bring her numbers up, but it was like fucking up everybody else that's after her, because like her shit comes to me fucked up. Then me and the girl beside me gotta catch it, fix it, and then do our job. Like, we were like, bitch, can you just do it right the first time? Like, it's not a competition. Well, it is a competition, but it's a competition with yourself. If you're moving quicker than you were yesterday, but like you fucking shit up, you're not really no help. And so eventually, she didn't say shit else to me. She started doing her job, and they moved her ass off the line because they got sick of the relationship causing tension on the fucking line. So her fucking chicken didn't get her the promotion. But I think after that, she started to really focus on their relationship, and she saw what a beautiful man Chicken was, because Chicken treated her right. Like, Chicken treated her and her daughter right. I don't know which game I don't know why she was playing games for a little petty ass promotion. Because Chicken was making guap. But yeah. So, anyways, the warehouse job was in Buttfuck County. So whenever my mom couldn't take me home, I had to use my little gift of gab. I don't have no fucking gift of gab. Like, I'm so blunt and brutally honest and just like so myself. It's either you like me or you fucking don't. So me and this dyke became cool. What am I gonna name her? That was my bitch. I don't know what I'm gonna name her, but that was my bitch. So she used to drive me home and stuff, and we was like cool, and we used to talk about everything on the job, promotional opportunities, everything. And like when her car went down and I got a car, I was taking her. So like it was a good ass friendship. Now this job was messy as fuck, like most warehouse jobs. Niggas. Okay, so let me tell y'all, my mom only was in town for a while. She was supposed to be leaving me her car and then going back home. But she decided that she was gonna stay in town for a couple of months and like take some time off for her job. So she started working at my job with me. Her and her boyfriend actually. So for them, this shit was like for fun. But how did I feel working with my mom? God, they get on my nerves. I can't say it too loud. But yeah, so niggas used to try and holler at me all the time, and they used to be like, yeah, you got such a stank face, and you be so serious that we be feeling kind of intimidated to approach you. I'm like, okay, so that face is working. It's doing its motherfucking job. Because at this point in time, I did not want no niggas talking to me. I just wanted to focus on school. I was celibate. I was working on myself. Nah, I I was focused. Like, I'm like, okay, my face is working. Do I need to like scrunch it up a little bit more? Like, what do you think? They didn't give a fuck. Like, they was still trying. So eventually, dude started talking to my mom and her boyfriend and giving them their number, so that way they could give it to me. My mom is not about to give me all of y'all numbers. I'm gonna be honest. If she think you a piece of shit, or if she meets you and you're not aligning with what kind of man she think I should have, your number got put in the trash. So after a while, my mom's boyfriend ended up bringing me this dude number. He was like, "Yeah, this is, what are we gonna name him? Y'all, I don't know." um, ooh, this dude with the orange shorts phone number. Okay, so I had to write that down. Yeah, I got short term memory. I'm pretty sure y'all already know this because I have really bad PTSD, but if you didn't know, you know now. So they was like, "Oh, this is dude with the orange shirts number," and I was like, "Who the fuck is dude with the orange shorts?" And it was like a dude that only wear orange shorts to work, and I was like, I have never noticed him, never seen him, but I don't pay nobody no attention. Like I literally only know the people that was on my line and working with me consistently. Like even if they move me around, like I would never remember you unless we're like consistently working together for over a few weeks. So I'm like, yeah, I don't know. They was like, he stares at you his whole shift. And I was like, he be staring at me. So anyways, lunch was over. We go back out on the floor and I'm looking around like, who the fuck is... First of all, it was so many niggas staring. And then I see the dude in the orange shorts. We make eye contact and I'm like, this the nigga. Now, I liked short dudes. I do. I like short dudes. Either not my height, shorter than me, my height, whatever. I like short dudes. So I was like, they was like, yeah, you seen big head orange shorts? I was like, yeah, I seen them. I'ma text them. Now, that is gonna get a story time of its own, but big head orange shorts, that motherfucker was something else. So, anyways, me and Big Head Orange Short start talking. My best friend starts acting weird as fuck. Like he was barely coming to work, barely showing up, coming with an attitude, like just acting weird as fuck. So at this point in time, I'm like, I need to find something of my own, separate myself, because I need some peace, time, and tranquility. Okay, but he was the only dude that actually accomplished getting them to give me the number, like, because everybody else, them numbers was in the trash. Um, a lot of females at that job did not like me. It was a lot of tension. Um, I can recall a few girls coming up to me and they were like, "Why are you working so hard? You know, if you slow down, it'll take longer, and we could be on the same project for 3 days." And I was like, "Why the fuck would I want to come in here?" I'm like, first of all, I'm ADHD. If I come in here and we're doing this tomorrow, I'm liable to clock in and go to fuck sit in the car, and then come in when it's time to clock out. So you don't want that. And I'm like, why would you even like? First of all, this day wasn't even mandatory. It was an extra day of work. Like Saturday and Sundays were like optional. So I'm like, why are you even here if you don't want to do nothing? Like, but in it, like the people that are actually like dependent on this job for a promotion, like being watched or whatever for promotional opportunities, such as myself and a few others, we were mad because it was like, why the fuck is everybody moving so slow? Why is people barely doing shit? They was trying to drag the project out to ensure that we can come into work on Sunday. But this project is supposed to be finished in 1 day. So if it drags out to Sunday, all of us that are being looked at for promotion are marked. Like not good marked, marked. And then at that point, if they still decide to continue training you for promotion, it's like up to your manager's discretion. Like it's not really like big people looking at you. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, y'all bitches need to go home. Like y'all know y'all can clock out and we can do it without you. Like that's just how I was. I don't care. Like in North Carolina, if you came to at that time, because I don't know how it is now, but in the part of North Carolina I'm from, it didn't matter where you worked at. Bojangles, um, Hot Dog City, Cookout, Walmart, Food Line, didn't matter where you worked at. If you came to work and you were like on your phone or you was barely moving, they would send your ass home. Like that was like a cultural thing for our workforce. So here, seeing a lot of people come to work and literally sit in the corner on their phone the entire shift, or not really do shit, pretend. And they were pretending so damn bad that cans was falling on people because they're half-ass lifting, so all the cans would fall out onto the other person. Like they was just like half-assing like a motherfucker. So, anyways, I was like, y'all can go home. And me and the girls that were team leads and shit like that, we got along great because they came to work and they wanted everybody to do their fucking job because their bonus depended on it. And I'm not about to fuck up nobody's money trying to extort another day when Sunday was already promised. Like I really did not understand why they was dragging that project out. But anyways, so I was a hard worker. So they loved me. Especially chicken. And then one day I came in. It was like a Monday or Tuesday because I know I had homework due in a couple of days. So it had to been like a Monday or Tuesday. I was in college. And Why the fuck I was lifting this shelf with this girl, and she had these long ass nails. She could not grip, like she couldn't stick her hand under it to grip it because her nails were like this long and the shelf underneath is like this long. So she had like this weak ass grip. If I had known she had that weak ass grip, I would have never partnered with her. Like I thought she was gonna give a fuck. She did not. So the cans ended up falling out onto my arm and like busting my arm. It was like some big ass cans. And so I had like that day, it was just like a little bruise there. So I continued working. It was a hell of a lot of pain, but I continued working. That next day, I had like big ass titties on my arm. Now, one of the titties went away and it was two left. I waited like a week to see if these shits would go away after icing it and everything, and they did not go away. So at that point, I started to get scared. I was like, what if it's a blood clot? Da, da, da. I was panicking. So I went to my manager and I reported it and I showed them the mark and they was like, well, you know, you were supposed to report it immediately. That's what the handbook says. And I was like, yeah, I did report it to the team lead. She just didn't think that filing a report was important because at that time it hadn't swelled up. And so I didn't go above her head and report it to anybody else because, you know, I was like, she's right. It hasn't swelled up. It should be fine. And they was like so mad. So then we have this other white dude that worked at the job. We're gonna call him Country Boy. Country Boy gave me weird vibes, but whatever. Country Boy always had on cowboy boots that had steel toes in it, so we're gonna call him Country Boy. Country Boy comes up to me later that day and he's like, hey, you filed a report saying that you were injured. We're gonna have to check you for smoking marijuana, and then we'll take you to the hospital. And I'm like, okay, well, just let me know when you guys are ready to go. And he was like, yeah, so you know, we got to do that marijuana check first. So we're going to make sure we go somewhere that checks for marijuana in a manner where we know that you're not sneaking in any pee or anything. I'm like, boy, if you don't go take a nap. So Country Boy was basically trying the fuck out of me. He was trying to say, first of all, nobody that smokes weed is going to report an injury knowing that if you smoke weed and you report an injury, you're immediately fired. That's stupid. And your hospital bill don't even get paid for. Like, that's dumb. So Country Boy was trying my motherfucking patience. That next day, me, Country Boy, and his white bitch. Because that lady was talking shit. Like, she was talking heavy shit. I don't even know. We can call her Karen. Me, Country Boy, and Karen went to the hospital. Karen's in a car like, yeah, so you know we'll have to terminate you when it comes back positive. First of all, bitch, what you mean when it comes back positive? My shit's gonna be negative. I don't smoke. I don't drink. And so I'm like, yeah, I don't smoke. I don't drink. It's not gonna be positive. It's gonna be negative. Then y'all gonna pay for this bill. And that shut them up. Then we get in there. Karen's making all these little comments as I fill out the little doctor paperwork about how I'm costing the company money and my injury is going to be reported against them. And I'm like, if y'all just gave us insurance, this wouldn't even be an issue. Like, come on now. If you simply had insurance, because mind you, this was back during the Obamacare shit, so no offense. So at that time, if it's out of enrollment, they give you a specific amount of time when you have a life event to go ahead and file for health insurance. And health insurance through the open enrollment is not as cheap as it would be through your job. And health insurance through open enrollment, you have like 30, 60 days upon starting a job. So I was past that point. And I didn't know. Like, I never knew. In North Carolina, health insurance, it wasn't as big, it wasn't as difficult, being honest. I could just pay the bills cash. Um, so we're in the room. The lady ends up calling us. She was like, "Yeah, it's time for your urine test." And they're looking at me. Make sure you come back positive. Like, first of all, ho, Karen, Country Boy, I know what the fuck I'm doing. So the test comes back negative, and them motherfuckers turned so red. We ended up going in the bag. They still, you know, checked my arm or whatever. And Country Boy was sitting there fuming because they actually had to pay for this bill. And I'm like, y'all probably haven't paid for a bill in like 40 years. Like, y'all probably haven't paid for a bill in forever. Like, get over it. But it did mess up their little streak of however long they went without a reported injury. So, but I don't give a fuck. The stuff they gave me to put on my arm to numb it, to ease the pain and everything, had that shit going down in literally 24 hours. So it was definitely worth it. And so that next day, I show up to work. Yeah, the next day I showed up to work, and all of a sudden, Country Boy was like, "Oh, we need to go in the back and we need to talk." And I was like, "What do we need to talk about?" He was like, "We're gonna have to terminate you because you got injured, you didn't follow procedures, and reported immediately. You waited a week." And I'm like, "He really trying it." Luckily, I don't really give a fuck about this job, or else I would actually care. So I end up going home to do the walk of shame, and then
Word.
that next day, my mom and her boyfriend went to work, and while they're at work, she comes home. She's like, "Yeah, I spoke to Chicken, and they didn't even tell Chicken that they fired you because you got injured on the job because of them. Because really, they were supposed to actually saran wrap the cans in, not just have us lifting it, or they were supposed to actually raise the assembly line because the assembly line raises and lowers. So they was basically they basically they was being funny." And Chicken was like, "I'm gonna blow the whistle if y'all don't rehire her." Man, they called me back that next day to come into work. I was fired for like 1 day, the bitches. Luckily, Chicken blew the whistle on their asses, and because he blew the whistle, they couldn't fire him or anything because that would be legally considered retaliation. Chicken had ended up talking to them and talking to corporate to get me rehired. I'm not gonna lie, I worked there for like 2 weeks after that, and then I quit because that situation really pissed me off. I was in training for management, and that position that I was in training for, well, it wasn't even management, it was like a little lead or whatever. But that position, mind you, I was making $8.50. The position I was training for was gonna pay $18.50. I turned it down to get a job that I thought would pay more, and it ended up paying like $11 or $12. But yeah, this is the story time of when I got fired. I'll be talking about that other job in another story time, so I'm not even gonna bring that up. But yeah, this is the story time when I got fired.